Hello, dear students. Greetings from me, your science teacher, Sir Julius, to you wherever you are. You're welcome to our first video lesson in science on our e-learning platform. You are therefore encouraged to do your best to study all our lessons and learn all you can. Today we have integrated science, basic 8, and this is our first lesson. What are we learning today? Under section, we are looking at cycles. And under cycles, we are looking at an interesting topic that has come to stay from time immemorial. We observe this phenomenon every day. And what is that topic? Weather, season, and climate. What are we talking about under weather, season, and climate? Under specific objectives, my students, you are expected to define the term weather, identify elements of weather, and of course, identify and use some common weather measuring instruments. So what then is weather? Let me give you some time to think about the definition or the meaning of weather. It is the atmospheric condition of a place over a short period of time, or it is the day-to-day atmospheric condition of a place. If you have been able to define weather according to one of these definitions, thumbs up, you have done very well. If it's close, you have also done well. But if it's nothing close to any of these definitions, don't give up. You are here to learn. But before I move on, I would like you to study the definitions carefully and note 3 key words, without which the definition becomes invalid. And what are the keywords? We have atmospheric condition. We also have place, and then we have time. The second definition also has time, day to day. We have atmospheric condition and a place. So in defining weather, make sure you include all these key words. Now, when we talk of elements of weather, we are referring to the day-to-day condition of the atmosphere that we experience. Let me give you some time, my dear student, to reflect on some elements of weather that scientists or meteorologists do measure. Okay, I hope your list will include the following: rainfall, wind, temperature, humidity, sunshine. If you have been able to mention all of this, you have done very well. 4 out of 5, good. 3, 2, 1, you have equally done well. All right. Let's now look at identification of some weather measuring instruments. At this point, I would like you to observe the diagrams I'm about to place on your screen carefully before I give you further explanation. Have you ever seen this diagram before? I hope so. It is one of the weather measuring instruments. Can you guess the name? All right, it is rain gauge. This is the second diagram. It looks a little bit weird, doesn't it? It is an instrument, and if you carefully look at it, there's mercury in the tube, and there's a symbol Celsius there. So what does it suggest to you? What is the name? Thermometer. Of course, the nature of it gives it a more specific name. That's the Swiss maximum and minimum thermometer. We'll talk about this later. Next is another diagram. Study it carefully. What is the name of this instrument? You can see some parts that look like caps and the arrow showing movement. Below the arrow, the bottom part is something like speedometer. So what then is the name? Anemometer. Very good. This is another instrument, of course, our fourth and the last. You can see the cardinal points, an arrow. So can you guess the name? Wind vane. Very good. Wind vane. You have done very well. Now we are not going to proceed to the use of each of these measuring instruments. Once more, carefully look at it. We have the rain gauge, the thermometer, the anemometer, and the wind vane. So we'll take the first one, rain gauge. What do you think will be the use of the rain gauge? Rain gauge, rain gauge. Good. Rain gauge measures the amount of rainfall. Rain gauge measures the amount of rainfall. So take notes. Now, the second diagram is about the thermometer, or the Swiss maximum and minimum thermometer. What is its function? Good. It measures the temperature of a place. At this point, I would like to throw a little more light on why it is called a Swiss maximum and minimum thermometer. The thermometer records maximum temperature during the day and minimum temperature at night. Hence the name maximum and minimum thermometer. It is called 6 because the invention is by a scientist called 6. All right, let's move on to the next instrument, anemometer. What is the function of an anemometer? It measures speed of wind, the speed of wind, the speed of wind. So take notes, anemometer. Then lastly, the wind vane. What is the function of the wind vane with the arrow on the cardinal point? Good. It measures the direction of the wind. I hope you are following the lesson, my students. All right. By way of summary, we look at weather, the definition of weather. Then we look at the elements of weather. We also identify some common weather measuring instruments and their uses. Yes, for advanced learning, meaning what I want you to learn in preparation for our next lesson is seasons in Ghana. Try and learn about the definition of season and the two main seasons in Ghana, the dry and then the wet season. For our next lesson. Okay, my students, I'd like to bring an end to our first lesson. It is short though. I believe you have learned all you can. Now on your page, we have a column for the PDF notes, summarizing the notes. You can go through at your leisure time. You are not restricted to this note. You can do further research. If there's any question, you can forward it on the page to me, and I will be glad to attend to your questions. You are reminded as well to check on the assessments page, that's the assignments page, to download your exercise. You are supposed to do your exercise and upload the snapshots of your answers back to the page for me to mark. I'll thank you and hope to see you again. Bye.